Don't exist. That's bigger than Jay. She don't exist, man.
Why you feel like it's bigger than Jay?
Cause it is.
When Jay would record, right? How was his process in the studio?
Jay ain't had no process. That's. I don't know if you understand how big a statement that is. Like, he just did it. I only seen Jay do like one thing, like a little ritual. I know he'll always, when he was working on his albums, he would wear a Biggie chain, his Cuban with the Jesus piece, J.O.I.
The reason that you and Jay fell out was that these famous times where Dame Dash was bringing people to court and bringing these famous people to court. I believe even Mariah Carey came at the time, or maybe that's the movie, I'm not sure.
Yeah, that might be the movie.
That might be the movie.
Beyonce was it.
Huh?
Beyonce. I'm just glad I ain't a part of that shit.
I don't know, man. I don't know Jay-Z personally, but he don't look like that kind of guy that, would indulge to, performing gang things on females. Word of name. Yeah.
Who is this? Who is she?
Okay, I see what's really good. You gotta eliminate the competition. Because at first you retire, then get me off the label. Now you...
The rap game's been silent for a while when it comes to Diddy and Jay-Z, but that silence is finally cracking. Artists are beginning to break their silence, and one of the latest to step up is Beanie Sigel. This time, he's not pulling any punches. He's opening up about his experiences with both Diddy and Jay-Z, and he's ready to tell it all.
I mean, I just assumed since you did the college you guys talked. I mean, you know what I'm saying?
You know what, Jay? Just the invite alone. If they don't, you're not. Right. So that might have been a conversation.
Beanie Sigel says he heard plenty of wild stories about Diddy's notorious freak-off parties, but made it clear he never got involved. From the jump, he felt Diddy wasn't someone he could really trust. But what hurt more than any rumor was his fallout with Jay-Z. Beanie truly believed Jay was a real friend, someone who had his back. Sadly, like many other artists have experienced, both those still in the game and those we've lost, Jay-Z turned his back on Beanie when he needed him the most. So what really happened between Beanie and Hov? And what exactly did he say about those infamous Diddy parties? Let's break it all down.
Dame actually came and got me when I got out of prison.
I was more bothered when Beans chose to go with Jay. That one hurt.
I didn't want to make that choice between Jay or them. I just wanted to stay neutral.
But it almost like he tricked Beans to shelf him and their life up to me.
But I don't feel like what. James said he had a lot of plans. He had a lot, what he was going to do. But I never got those conversations. When I was going to court in the feds, right? Yeah, man. And I'm quite sure Jay feeling this way too. And people should understand that. Look at it. We have the right to face our accusers. 13-year-old, what a 13-year-old doing in one of them parties anyway?
I felt that Jay-Z, Beanie Sigel was the
Yeah, you're fired.
and they will only let Beanie Sigel only sell so many records. This came from an executive. But Benny, they would you couldn't be bigger than Jay-Z on Jay-Z's label.
During a recent conversation, Beanie Sigel made a cutting, sarcastic remark. Y'all got that game pause. They stopped saying pause. Now it's just Diddy. That line hit hard, especially as rumors of Diddy's potential arrest continue to swirl. For a long time, 50 Cent was one of the only artists publicly calling Diddy out, and many brushed it off as trolling. But now, as lawsuits and controversy stack up, more insiders are starting to speak up. Beanie Sigel is one of those voices, and he didn't just talk about Diddy. He had plenty to say about Jay-Z too. According to Beanie, Jay didn't just let him down, he straight up betrayed him.
2020, y'all. Yeah. And it's different than when it was 2016. The game has been elevated. As we can tell, there's no expense being spared. We had a black billionaire.
Let's rewind for a second. Beanie Sigel and Diddy actually had a pretty solid relationship back in the day. Beanie was even featured on Diddy's second album Forever on the track Journey Through the Life, alongside heavy hitters like Lil' Kim, Joe Hooker, and Nas. Diddy even tried to sign Beanie to Bad Boy Records, but Beanie had already committed to Roc-A-Fella, and looking back, he says that was one of the smartest choices he ever made. In an interview on The Art of Dialogue, he made it clear, He has zero regrets about choosing Roc-A-Fella over Bad Boy, especially now, watching how things unfolded for so many artists who did sign with Diddy. Beanie even went so far as to say he's not sure he'd still be around to tell his story if he had taken that other path.
On the court, it said the white grant versus the United States. I was in the courtroom around and I ain't see the United States. I don't think the United States of America could have fit in that courtroom. The earth is spacious. Everybody voicing opinion and talking about this. Jay got the right to face his accuser. Where is this little...
Beanie Sigel shared some deep reflections in a recent interview, mixing raw truth with a bit of humor. He recalled a time when he was heading to court and joked. It said Dwight Grant versus the United States. I looked around the courtroom and didn't see the United States. I don't think the whole United States of America could have fit in there. That moment captured how surreal and isolating the legal system can feel. Beanie also got candid about his early music career. He revealed that shortly after signing with Roc-A-Fella, Diddy reached out to collaborate on a track with Nas. Beanie ended up staying in the studio and recording several songs, even ghostwriting for Diddy at one point. Diddy tried to sign him then, and Beanie joked that he could have been Bad Boy, or even a Rough Rider. But ultimately, he'd already mentally committed to Roc-A-Fella, even though no paperwork had been signed yet. When asked if he ever regretted not joining Bad Boy, Beanie didn't hesitate, not one bit. If he had to do it all over again, maybe he'd consider the Rough Riders, but he made it clear Diddy's camp was never the right fit for him. And as for Diddy's ongoing legal chaos, Beanie didn't hold back. He said he'd heard all the talk, all the whispers about those infamous parties. But he never took part, not once. He made it crystal clear, whatever Diddy was into, Beanie wanted no part of it.
When he would record, right, how was his process in the studio?
Jay ain't no process. That's I don't know if you understand how big a statement that is. Like, he just did it. I only seen Jay do like one thing, like a little ritual. I know he always, when he was working on his albums, he would wear a Biggie chain. It's Cuban with the Jesus piece. Jay rocked that. He wouldn't get no cut either until he finished the album. Other than that, that little ritual right there, that thing he did, Jay ain't no process.
I didn't know that, man. So when he'll work on an album, he'll wear a chain that he got from Big, and he wouldn't get a cut.
Yeah, he'll wear a big personal chain. That was Biggie chain.
Back in the day, Beanie Sigel really trusted Jay-Z. He saw Jay as someone solid, a brother, someone who had his back. When Beanie joined Roc-A-Fella in 1998, it wasn't about fame or deals. It was about being part of something real, something he called La Familia. Coming from South Philly, where loyalty was scarce, being embraced by Roc-A-Fella felt like family. But as time went on, Beanie realized Jay-Z was all about business. When Beanie's troubles threatened Jay's brand, the La Familia loyalty disappeared. In 2009, Beanie dropped a track, I Go Off, with 50 Cent, taking shots at Jay-Z and exposing the betrayal he felt.
Who is the most overrated hip-hop star of all time?
Overrated?
Yeah.
I mean, Jay-Z, he would say he was overrated. Rather be overrated than underpaid.
Jay got all the trophies, man. That's because he signed that contract.
What contract?
What with Beyonce? No, if you don't sign, you don't give him a trophy, she ain't coming.
Because he's so...
By the time Beanie dropped I Go Off with 50 Cent, the friendship with Jay-Z was already long gone. Things started to unravel when Roc-A-Fella split, and Beanie's growing legal issues seemed to push Jay further away. In that same Drink Champs episode, Beanie recalled one of the hardest moments. It was 2003, and he was dealing with legal trouble right before a big tour with Roc-A-Fella. He had to attend a bail hearing, and Jay-Z showed up as a character witness. Beanie remembered how everyone spoke highly of him, and Jay-Z was no exception. He vouched for Beanie in front of the judge, saying all the right things. At the time, Beanie thought Jay really had his back, but later, things would take a turn.
And the reason that you and Jay fell out was that these famous times where Dame Dash was bringing people to court and bringing these famous people to court. I believe even Mariah Carey came one time, or maybe that's the movie, I'm not sure.
Yeah, that might be the movie.
That might be the
No,
movie.
Beyonce was it.
Huh?
Beyonce.
Beyonce, all right, cool. I'm not going wrong. So, There's this rumor that one time that Jay got on the stand or whatever, and they asked him, would you be responsible
Yeah,
for Beans? And he said no.
yeah,
That's the truth?
absolutely.
For a moment, it seemed like Jay-Z's support might have worked. The judge was ready to let Beanie go, but then she asked a simple question. Would Jay-Z be willing to take responsibility for Beanie's whereabouts, just to check in and confirm where he was, without being responsible for his actions? Jay's response was a quiet no. It wasn't just the answer, it was the way he said it. Beanie remembered Jay looking down, almost ashamed, and softly refusing. That moment shattered Beanie. He had believed Jay was his brother, someone he could count on. In that instant, everything changed. Beanie started questioning. What if I really needed help? What if this was my only chance out? At the time, Beanie wasn't facing a minor punishment. He was looking at serious charges, both state and federal, with the possibility of 40 years hanging over his head. He even thought about his mother's perspective and wondered, what if I needed to run? He knew if the roles were reversed, he would have done whatever it took to help Jay. But standing there, shackled and vulnerable, hearing Jay say no, that crushed him. To Beanie, Jay wasn't just a friend, he was like a big brother. And that moment of rejection broke something inside him that he couldn't fix.
Let the others go first, so the brothers won't miss. No, but that's what it is. Like, man, what is all that, man?
Yeah, I don't understand that he can't know who she is, but she can come out and do this.
Cause she pride, she don't exist, man. She don't exist.
Said no.
Weapons violation, attempted. They trying to get aboard 20 to 40 years. They came to me with a deal. Their deal was 18, 36 years. Of course, I turned it down. Thought this was American people. Guilty until things.